It's time for the Death Battle cast, where we argue and accomplish nothing of importance. Hi, I'm Ben, voice of Wiz, joined by Chad. It's Boomstick, of course. Liam, voice of Liam, and writer of Wow. He's
trying to look through time currently.
Oh God! Oh, dude, holding your eyes open.
Story
That
contest.
like,
Why
hard.
were you doing that?
It like actually made me water up. I don't know. I just sort of like I just made a face when the camera turned on, and I just decided to keep it. You know. I was
We've
once in
all
a
made
play and I
bad
did
decisions.
that. The direct did that as a choice, and the director said, "Do that for the production, but like do it to like one specific chair that you pick, and then whoever sits in that chair just like dead eye them for like the first 20 or so minutes of the play.
Give one person the most comfortable experience of the show.
Yeah, exactly. And
Strong
thankfully,
choice.
it was one of my. It just like it wasn't planned. It just happened to be one of my teachers the second night. So I just we just had a staring contest for like
Great.
15 minutes. It was great.
Is that thankfully, or is that?
Well, yeah,
I mean, it's a little less awkward
like
than doing it to a
random
stranger.
person that
I
didn't know me.
suppose so.
I mean, the
probably
teacher
won't
like
see
was
the
like
stranger
sort of
again.
laughing once he realized. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you committed, I guess. Hey, we're also joined by Josh.
Hello, I've never done that on stage. So don't have that anecdote to
And he's
share.
proud of it.
But maybe I'll try it next time. If I'm on a stage.
Don't fall to his peer pressure.
Oh, okay.
Josh is, of course, a director and writer of several Death Battle episodes, including some upcoming ones for the upcoming season, which we still don't have anything to show just yet for the upcoming season. We are working very hard on it. Some of the team has been, or all of the team has been putting together some crazy shit, and I can't wait to share it with you guys when we're able to. So stay tuned in the coming weeks for that. Yeah, it's gonna be good. We're working on an episode of Josh's right now that's very different from I think anything we've done, maybe in several seasons, if not ever. Because we've talked about it before, but
that one.
We are doing something we are doing this season is we are bringing in a lot of new franchises, specifically like I guess you could say new genres as well.
Yeah,
to a certain
that's fair.
extent.
I'd say so.
Making some episodes that are very unique and different from the standard fare that Death Battle has had for the past 11 years at this point.
Is this the one we're voicing tomorrow?
Oh,
Maybe? I don't remember.
I believe so.
We have a lot going on, so anyway, but of course, as Death Battle cast goes, we have a community Death Battle to get to. But first, if you're watching this on YouTube or on some sort of podcast streaming platform, I don't know, there's a lot, and I think we're on all of them probably. We have changed our live show time. We are now doing this live on Tuesday at 3 p.m. Central Time. Hope to see you there. Everybody's in the chat right now.
They're all disappointed because you told them we weren't
AKA
showing
right
anything.
at this exact
I saw you guys in the chat saying like wondering about it before the show started, and I wanted to kind of like get that off the plate immediately so there weren't any false expectations or anything like that. Trust me, I really want to show you guys what we're working on. But it's gonna have to wait just a little bit longer. It'll be worth it, I promise. Okay, so today's community death battle is, why are we doing this one?
Because I was like,
Bunga.
we should do something with Knuckles.
Sure. Yes.
You were like, we should
Knuckles
do
the
something
Echidna.
easy to talk about so I can go to this other meeting.
I also had other meetings. That is true. But we should have Knuckles.
Sometimes
We did it.
You gotta feed two birds with one scone.
Yeah. One scone?
Scone, yeah.
That's the French version of that saying.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's also
Yeah.
the
It's
more
the nicer
delightful
version.
way to do it.
Yeah, exactly. And I love
And also
scones.
It'll hit just as hard.
You have a snack afterwards. It's great. Knuckles the Echidna versus the Juggernaut of Marvel and X-Men fame. Rad Red versus the Red Trash Can? I don't know. Does Juggernaut
Rad
have a name that starts with
Maroon.
red?
Mean Maroon. Rad Red versus
The Mean Maroon. Sure.
There you go.
So, as always, here's how this is going to work. I'm going to be arguing for Knuckles. Of course, I'm typecasted as
Knuckles.
usual. And Liam is going to be arguing for Juggernaut. And it's our job to convince the jury to vote for our respective character through any means necessary. The jury consists of Chad, of Josh, and you guys watching the show live. There will be a poll in the chat coming up soon where you can vote for Knuckles or Juggernaut. But this is in the courtroom. Everybody's part of the conversation. So if you've got something you want to say, we are checking out the chat throughout the whole show. Go ahead and say it. All right.
I have something I want to say.
Go ahead.
I'm actually very excited about this because like Juggernaut's a character that like I feel like everybody knows, but like we haven't like we've never like really dug deep into Juggernaut before, right? And even though I love X-Men, like my brain stuff from the Juggernaut is like the animated series, right? Because I've just never or like the memes that were going around, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm very excited because I know he's got to have some crazy stuff. Like Gaming News Guy tweeted something at me earlier today that was just like Juggernaut is a skeleton full of hate. It's pretty interesting.
Yes.
So
yeah, we're gonna get to that.
To answer something that's being brought up in the chat, I believe I am going to be pulling from Archie Comics in order to make this fair.
Yeah, that's what I said before the call. I was like, are you doing Game or Archie? And you were like, I'm not sure. And I said Archie.
Okay, because otherwise, I'm pretty sure Knuckles gets crushed instantly. So let's go ahead and go with Archie. Sure, whatever. I can pull Archie shit out of my ass, no problem. It'll be fine.
This is true.
All right, let's go. Well, let's go ahead and set the stage then with Juggernaut.
Hey, Chad.
Chad, what's
you're doing
Juggernaut
Archie now.
He's not getting magicked and being
Archie
strong.
also has red hair, so that's another connection. So we could do
Oh my gosh.
Juggernaut versus Archie Knuckles versus Archie.
Or
Andrews.
Juggernaut versus
Andrews.
Archie and Knuckles. Like that's what we
Archie
mean by
and-
Archie Knuckles,
and
right, Vinny?
Archie Andrews plus Archie Knuckles is Archie Andruckles.
Nope.
And
all right, Liam, you
All right,
got 60
let's go.
seconds on the clock. What's
All right.
Juggernaut bringing?
Ben shut that
Juggernaut
down so
takes a big
fast.
ol' Juggernaut takes a big old poo on Knuckles. Juggernaut is empowered by a multiversal Cthulhu god known as Sitarak, who is an unbelievably powerful, higher dimensional entity beyond even anything we see in Archie comics, and he is the direct source of power for the Juggernaut, and because of that, the Juggernaut is not just a big strong guy. He is fucking completely invincible. There is just nothing that can stop him, nothing that can kill him. You can reduce him to a skeleton, as we mentioned before. He will be fine. He can survive a God Blast, which is powerful enough to kill Galactus, and he didn't even flinch. Yes, something that Galactus was like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. That shit's gonna kill me. Something like that, Juggernaut took without even fucking flinching. He's just unbeatable, and he's as strong as Thor. He's as strong as the Hulk. He's beaten both of them. Knuckles is turning into a fucking bright red spot.
Okay.
Perfectly.
Okay.
Old.
Okay. I mean, he's already a bright red spot on the wall, but you know, when he climbs,
He's going to be
but-
his atoms will be inseparable from the wall. Let me put it that way. They will
Okay.
like it become one
Well, let
single
me
layer
tell you
of atoms.
how you giving me Archie Knuckles has completely obliterated any argument that you're gonna have for Juggernaut.
All
All right, here we go. So Knuckles. Oh, we all know him. He's a great, lovable goofball sometimes, and sometimes he's an intimidating badass. But he's also kind of a goofball because he's being duped all the time. But Knuckles is super strong. He's fast enough to keep up with Sonic. And in the games, he can glide. However, the comics brought this to a whole new level. Turns out, in this timeline, Knuckles is a science experiment specifically developed by his douchebag of a father to turn him into the most powerful being in the universe. Specifically, he is a Chaos Emerald. You know those things that like have unlimited power? He's just he's a Chaos Emerald. He's actually powered by the Master Emerald, so he's kind of 14 Chaos Emeralds, all combined into one entity who can rewrite all of time, all of space, and destroy anything he wants at any point. He's just the most powerful thing ever. He just thinks it, and it's done. Also, Idris Elba's on my side. So.
That's
pretty
fascinating.
cool.
That's fascinating. Yeah, well, the guy that played Juggernaut in X-Men 3 and Deadpool, both of them are on my side. And are there any
Question.
Idris Elba memes? I don't know about that. But there is.
even know
I'm
what
the
his name
Juggernaut,
is?
bitch.
That's true.
What's his name?
His name is Frank Welker.
This voice actor, not the guy who played him,
No,
right?
that's him. That's him.
That is him?
In
Yep.
X3?
Isn't that crazy? Yeah, isn't that nuts? They got Frank Welker to play him.
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, you can look it up on IMDb right now. Yeah, go ahead.
What?
I don't know. Let's get some confirmation on that.
I don't know about that one, Liam. Wow, you
Yeah.
almost had me there, but then I was like, wait, Frank Welker's a bit older than that.
That's so funny.
I can't believe I hooked you in as much as I did.
I didn't think of like what Frank Welker looked like, so I was like,
You gave me the honest, like, really?
no. But wait, maybe, because like that does sound like something that
You're
you
like,
know they might do.
gosh.
Like, oh, wouldn't that be
Yeah.
amazing if you could actually fit
Yeah.
the
Did they
role?
like CG him in or something? Yeah.
Yeah, because I could see that happening if Frank Welker was a big dude, but no.
What is
Unfortunately.
so?
It's like, dude,
so obviously,
You imagine if
Knuckles
Kevin
is not-
Conroy played old Batman in like a Batman Beyond reboot? Like, so
He
good.
did
would
play
be
old
sick.
Batman.
Did he? Wait, he did?
Yeah, in the CW Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Oh, maybe that's why
Sorry.
that was in my brain because I definitely have heard that before.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah,
now.
it was
They
great.
had-
Josh
had-
is just like, all
That
right.
sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Lois and Clark,
Yeah.
Superman, and
He was like super fucking jaded Batman though. He ended up kind of being a villain of sorts.
that's
So
pretty
it
sick.
wasn't
That's awesome.
exactly
That's
what
why
I
that was
was
in my
thinking,
head.
but it's
That's
kinda
cool. That's yeah, I've never
Yeah.
watched it, but cool.
At least if I recall correctly. But either way, the poll is
What is-
currently up in
Okay.
the chat, by the way. And if you're watching on mobile, you can type #1 to vote for Knuckles or #2 to vote for Juggernaut if you want to. All right,
And you do want to.
let's
All right.
let's
so
let's get into this.
You got a couple people
Uh,
in chat with that too, Liam. It's just catching up right now.
what? A couple people in chat, or what are they saying about me?
For
Bullshit.
The,
Like
yeah,
being-
for you, straight up lie.
Duped them. Yeah.
It's a bold move to immediately lie after your opening statements and get caught. Like I'm just saying.
Whoa. Okay, well, I'm just speaking the truth here, and the truth sometimes hurts.
What?
So-
what? No,
Sometimes
you're
you're speaking the truth.
So- So what I find okay, first of all, I have a question, just because I'm sure the answer will be funny. What was Knuckles' dad? What was his dad's name? It's gonna be something really funny. Locke. Yeah, that's
Locke.
pretty good. I thought it was gonna be like
Yeah.
Barf
So
Sue or something.
okay,
that's
let me
Lara
kind of establish what we're dealing with here with this Knuckles. So in the games,
Yeah.
Knuckles is just some guy. He is quote the last of the Echidnas. He's hanging out on Angel Island defending the Master Emerald, right? Which keeps
Yeah.
the island afloat. There's some backstory that's sort of elaborated on in Sonic Adventure 1, I believe, with Tikal's tribe or whatever, like he's descended from them or whatnot. But long story short, he's just some guy who just happens to have a connection to the Master Emerald based on his lineage, and he's the last one of his family. The end.
Yeah.
That's his story. He's kind of a lovable goofball, kind of a jerk sometimes, and he's super strong. That's all
Yeah.
you got to know about Game Knuckles. Apparently, that wasn't enough for Archie Comics. So in the comics, Knuckles, they do keep they sort of keep the last Echidna thing. But he in the games or in the comics, he is the most recent iteration of the Guardians of the Floating Island, which is a long-spanning family of Echidnas who have guarded the floating island. For some reason, there's nothing on it for the majority of their lives other than just trees. There's the Master Emerald, but there's like no civilization really on the floating island up until Knuckles' time. But the way they train these Guardians, the reason why I say Locke is a douche is for some reason, the Guardians decided, hey, the best way to raise our kids is to scar them for life and leave them in the middle of the island on their own as a child and then spy on them from a secret bunker underground forever.
A little bit Doomsday then. A little bit Doomsday. Let's have Knuckles
Why?
fight Doomsday.
I don't fucking know. Like, they give a reason for it and it doesn't make any fucking sense. They're just like, responsibility or some shit. It's like, no, responsibility would be watching after your fucking son, but okay. So Knuckles grows up thinking that he's alone and that his father literally jumped into a wall of fire and died. It's fucked up. And then he discovers that other Echidnas do exist. There's a whole city of them. They're just trapped in another dimension. And so Knuckles' whole story becomes getting these people out of the dimension, finding their original homeland of Albion, and transporting all of the echidnas against their will, mind you, from Echidnopolis to
Good God.
Albion.
Wow, what a weird name. I wonder why it was called that. Oh, man.
Well, to
Hang
elaborate
on, I
further,
have
let's
to-
bring in special guest Ken
Ironically-
Penders, everybody.
I have
No,
to-
And ironically, what ends up happening is he fails. Like, he fails. All the echidnas end up getting, because of like all the stupid legal shit that happened with the comics, they lost the rights to most of the echidna characters. So off screen, after getting them all to Albion and everybody realizing that Albion is just some horrible wreck, off screen or off panel, all of the echidnas are just sucked into another dimension and never seen again. All right, let's take a quick break to talk about our sponsor, Fume. If you're a smoker or you're close with a smoker, you know just how hard it can be to quit. That's why you've got to check out Fume. It's this natural inhaler that is designed for a better, safer, and natural way to quit cigarettes. It's a no smoke, no vape, and no nicotine replacement for hand-to-mouth habit of smoking. Fume is made of 100% Canadian maple and uses cores infused with plant oils that are studied to curb cravings. They've got flavors like peppermint and conker with minty notes to stimulate menthol cigarettes, and other flavors like lemonberry bliss for a sweeter experience. Plus, their flavors are 100% natural. Quitting is tough, but Fume can help. They've got thousands of 5-star reviews from smokers who've tried everything else, and this worked. Of course, different things will work for different people. This is obviously a tough thing for a lot of people to go through. But if you're looking for something that could potentially be the thing that you've been needing, this is definitely worth looking at. And whether you're a smoker or an ex-smoker struggling with cravings, Fume is a perfect tool. If you head to breathefume.com/cast and use the promo code CAST, you'll get 10% off your entire order. You'll save on the cigarettes you aren't buying, plus your first purchase of Fume. That's 10% off your entire order when you head to breathefum.com/cast and use the code CAST. Thanks so much, Fume. Let's get back to the show.
Fuck them.
Problem solved.
It's, everything is fucked about Knuckles' story.
What's that void? No, that's the void of legality, and it's sucking up all the echidnas. Like, there it went.
They do some weird Moses shit with him, I think is the intention, or Jesus shit. I don't know. He dies and comes back to life. Of course he does. But at the end of the day, when he was in his egg, because he's an echidna, Locke was like, I had this dream that my son is going to die. So I'm going to just blast the egg with pure Chaos Emerald energy until he becomes God, and then nothing will kill him. So when he grew up, when he was raised, so you know how Knuckles has those like spikes on his gloves? I wish I had prepared this. So that's in the games, right? He uses them to climb, right? They're like claws on his gloves.
Mm-hmm.
So in the comics, when an echidna takes off their glove, first of all, it's just really weird to see any of these characters without gloves, but it's just like a red 3-fingered hand. I think 3-fingered, 4-fingered, whatever. But when Knuckles takes it off, the spikes are there.
Nice.
They're just
Yeah.
like
So he's got some like Wolverine adaptations.
Yeah. Except they're not blades or anything. They're just fleshy red
Hand
spikes.
Mounds.
Yeah.
Hand nipples. Yeah.
It's
Those are
really
second
weird looking.
Knuckles.
Can you milk Knuckles through his knuckles?
Okay, gross. Don't like that.
That's a weird way to take that, but I mean, I don't know.
Old
but-
MacDonald had a phone.
And then he eventually just becomes so powerful that he is a living Chaos Emerald, and he travels through time rewriting all of history and ruining people's lives.
I have a question though.
He has a horrible time of it.
Are the chaos powers magic? Because they're like, there's been times Shadow's called it chaos magic. I know that.
Technically,
isn't
yes.
There we go.
Technically,
All
it is
right,
considered
Liam, take it
magic.
away. I teed you up for that one.
Take it away.
Yeah,
I mean, I was
I get Ben
teeing
to
something up.
begrudgingly admit that the chaos stuff is magic.
Yeah, and Juggernaut is resistant to magic, but I have something even better than that. I have something even better than that. Because
What
like
you
let's
got?
say like yeah,
Big
okay,
head.
you're resistant to magic, but like there's a being that's like a billion kajillion times more powerful than you, and their magic, like not necessarily you're resistant to that. So what I'm hearing is that Knuckles, I assume he's pretty comparable to like Supersonic from Super Archie Supersonic or Archie Hypersonic or whatever the difference is. I forget. I wrote that episode and I fucking forget now. But I assume that they're comparable, right? Green Knuckles is roughly equivalent to Supersonic or Hypersonic.
Ben's like, I know he has something very key here. How can I disprove this before he gets going?
I would argue no. I would argue it's more powerful because Supersonic can't just like, as far as I know, Supersonic can't just willingly rewrite reality in an instant. He's got to actually use like Knuckles is not doing it the same way when he's Green Knuckles. But I suppose it's still comparable because he's still doing similar things, just different.
Not like a being of like an entirely different, like when Sonic views Green Knuckles, he doesn't, his mind doesn't collapse like a fucking Cthulhu thing, right?
Sure, yeah.
And I mean, it makes sense, right? Like Knuckles is one Chaos Emerald, while Supersonic has the power of like, what is it? All of the Chaos Emeralds, or also one Chaos Emerald?
Actually,
like that.
Supersonic is 7 Chaos Emeralds. Knuckles is 14.
14. Okay. So you could say he's
and then
like
he can get
You'd say
7
he's
more
double, yeah.
by
We latched
becoming
onto that.
Hyper Super Knuckles.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, so just establishing that it's same basic idea. So okay, that's a being the power to like reshape and fuck with the entire multiverse, right? That like reality warp, do stuff like that. That kind of sounds similar. And Brian, I've got an image in the Discord. It kind of sounds similar to a character that we've covered before by the name of, this is interesting, you might not expect this, Darkseid. DC's god of evil. And isn't that fascinating? Blasting Juggernaut with his Omega Beams, which can erase you from reality and warp reality and send you back in time and do everything that Archie Knuckles can do. And it's bounced back and hits him.
What the fuck?
All right, I have so many questions, but first, I'm getting to the point where I'm like, Darkseid's Omega Beams are a fucking lie. It was like a smear campaign. Like this dude like started his own rumors and was like, this shit traveled throughout the galaxy. It's like, yeah, did you hear? Like nobody could ever dodge them. Like they'll just instantly fucking kill you. And yet we're like, we've got a good handful of examples of people, like even fucking Batman. And you're just like,
from the cartoon,
straight up propaganda.
I think he lied. We have enough resources that I don't put faith in the Omega Beams anymore. I'm just saying.
Darkseid would be one to lie about his own powers just to make himself
From a
seem
marketing
more grandiose.
Except he's done all of it.
I am the best.
All of it successfully. And I think that's a really, really important point. Is that, and it makes sense, right? Juggernaut is not just I'm tough. He is empowered by a higher dimensional multiversal entity named Sidorak. He is his like champion on Earth, and Sidorak gives him as much power as he wants and as much power as he needs to conquer whatever he's doing. He only rescinds that power when like Juggernaut is like, I don't want to do what you say anymore. So and even that's pretty rare. So Juggernaut would easily be able to resist the kind of reality warping effects that Archie Knuckles would bestow upon him. And there's a second, just in case Juggernaut doesn't want to just punch Archie Knuckles to bits. Wow, I just saw that knuckle nipple thing. That's really gross.
I'll have Brian bring that up later.
Yeah.
Brian,
guess who
get that prepared.
Guess who also
Thank you.
has multiversal magical reality warping? Brian, if you could bring up that second image that I posted there. Why, look!
What?
It's Juggernaut fighting Nightmare.
What?
And he learned it in the Crimson Dimension, which is where Sidorak resides, meaning that this is a further byproduct of Sidorak's powers. Yes, he is actually defeating Nightmare, who is the a god of unfathomable power in Marvel, higher dimensional being that like only Doctor Strange can fight, or other beings at the similar level. So if you really want to get like high level shit, Jugs has got you matched. He's got Archie Knuckles. He's got you, Ben, more than matched, but he's got Archie Knuckles matched as well. Archie Knuckles' magical powers would not do anything to him, so we'd have to rely on a brawl. And in that case, one of them can win, and one of them can lose, or one of them can lose, and one of them cannot lose. And the one that can lose is Archie Knuckles, because eventually that power is going to run out, and Juggernaut is going to smash him into little poo-poo paste.
I'm not doubting you, Liam, but none of that seems right. Like, what? Like, since when can he do any of this? Are these like just random occurrences?
Okay, so have you ever heard of a man named Ignaz Semmelweis?
No.
So he was I believe he was Hungarian. He was a Hungarian doctor that discovered that that doctors that were handling corpses or doing autopsies and then would then go and immediately deliver children, like in a childbirth scenario, the mothers and the children would often die. Would actually die a lot.
Oh, this is the hand wash guy.
And exactly. And he said,
yeah.
And he said that you should wash your hands. And people laughed at him, and he was called insane. And they actually put him in an insane asylum.
Right.
That's why.
So I just want to point out that there are some people whose truths will not be accepted in their lifetime, despite how crazy it sounds, but will be regarded as heroes in the future.
Sure.
What a stretch for that answer. Oh my god.
Okay. Before we continue, Brian, if you are able to get that image that I sent you and bring it up, I would like to. Yeah, there it is.
I like it. Even he's just like, what the fuck? These were on me. Like,
I don't like looking at it. It's
oh my god. It's as far as I'm aware, this is the only time they ever actually shown in the comics.
Oh my god,
that's rough.
It's really weird. And he's like punching people with these things.
Yeah, and they're like on the top of his hand. Too.
Yeah, the top.
What if it like does it have any give when he punches?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's like squishes a little bit, and you're like,
oh, dude, it's like cartilage. No.
I'm pretty sure
like
there are examples in the comics where he's punching people and the knuckles like kind of squish in, like as if they're made from something that can give.
Like they're flesh mounds. Do you think he ever chews on them with like absent-mindedly? It's just like,
I bet he can clean his ear really good with them. Just like
yeah, exactly. You can really
weird angle
because
though.
it's not solid. It can like fit in. It can like mold.
Josh, you get a crotch.
Ear.
Oh,
Yeah,
sure.
Exactly.
Yeah, like see,
yeah.
then you can really get it. Like,
that would probably feel really satisfying.
Okay. So
touching foreign object like a Q-tip.
Is Juggernaut able to completely counter magic, or can magic still affect him? Or is it
yes, he's able
magics?
to completely counter magic.
Isn't that just the helmet, or is that only one specific portion of time?
It's him. The helmet counters telepathy.
Telepathy, right?
So like Professor X can't just instantly shut him down,
right?
Because it would be an obvious counter.
So Knuckles would have to get him completely out of the armor in order to.
It's
well,
not.
He's magic resistance. The armor is anti-mind control or tele.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right?
He himself is anti-magic because he's empowered by. I mean, it's kind of weird. Like it's like the gem of Sidorak is what gave him the power. So he's kind of like a walking fucking Chaos Emerald too. In a funny way. Which makes this fight thematic, and why I actually do think we should do it. Like it is a funny joke, ha ha ha. But if it's Archie Knuckles, I think it makes it fair.
Because Knuckles does have the power to pull things apart by their atoms, or just create whatever he wants.
Yeah.
Ben, you shot yourself in the foot by bringing this up. Lucari Boy in the chat just goes, "I'm going Juggernaut so we can get rid of this abomination."
I mean, I think it might have been retconned at a certain point.
Well, yeah, I mean, everything in Archie was fucking retconned.
Well, I mean, officially retconned, yes, but I more so mean like there's this point where Knuckles dies and then comes back to life on his own volition. Like he meets God, and it's kind of weird. He meets God, who is just some lady Echidna, I guess, and she's like, "Yeah, so you can go off to the afterlife." And he's like, "Okay," and he just goes off to the afterlife. And then like 10 issues later, everybody on Mobius is like fucked from some alien shenanigans, and Knuckles, for some reason, just shows back up and is like, hey, God, they're going to die. So I think I might want to go help. How can I do that? And she's like, well, you could just go. And so he just goes. He just does it. And then there's this whole story where he has to like regain some of his power and whatnot. But once he does, he's like back to full or whatever and becomes a new threat or whatnot.
Are you crypto curious? That is what they put in the ad read for me. And yeah, let me just come from not this. Crypto is a new thing that a lot of people, you hear it every day all over the place, and you might be wondering, what is this thing, what to do? I'm not here to tell you to get this or do that or any coins or anything. What I am is here to tell you is that Coinbase makes learning and buying and, figuring out good, honest information about all this stuff super extra simple. Coinbase is a trusted, easy-to-use platform for buying and selling cryptocurrency. Coinbase offers portfolio management and protection, learning resources, and a mobile app so you can trade securely and monitor your portfolio all in one place. Coinbase supports the most popular digital currencies on the market and makes them accessible to everyone. Millions of people around the globe trust Coinbase with their digital assets. I, in fact, use their wallet and their trading platform, so I trust it. So whether you want to diversify your investment, get started, or just learn some stuff, because I know it can be wicked confusing, it's a really good place to do that, okay? So, yeah. Check it out. For a limited time, new users can get up to $10 of free Bitcoin when you sign up today at coinbase.com/cast. Sign up at coinbase.com/cast for $10 in free Bitcoin. That offer is for a limited time only, so be sure to sign up today. That's coinbase.com/cast. And it's just a good place to learn about crypto if you're curious about all this stuff. So go there, check it out.
What's the worst Knuckles story arc in Archie? Like, what's the one that's like, I can't believe, like even as a fan of this, I can't believe that this exists.
I mean, probably everything about his father abandoning him. And then, his dad, like, I don't know if I really want to talk about it. So Knuckles' mom abandons his dad because she agrees that he's a fucking asshole. But a lot of the comics seem to want to take the dad's side, which is a problem. And there is one moment where he sort of, oh God, I can't even believe I remember this, but it is really disturbing. He sort of forces himself on her. And it's really weird and awkward and wrong. He's a terrible person.
This isn't a fucking Sonic comic. What? Oh,
yeah, Archie Comics is wild shit, man.
There is a later issue. This is like after I stopped reading. I caught up with this during our research for Archie. There is an issue where Sonic is replaced by evil Sonic, who looks exactly like him, but he's evil. And
Sick
evil
writing.
Sonic like hits on all the female characters, and it's implied, I think strongly implied, that he has sex with Bunny Rabbit.
Oh my God.
My favorite character from the old cartoon.
You love Bunny.
Bunny was great, and then this scene happens, but it's evil Sonic, and she thinks it's Sonic, which is
Oh
rape.
my God.
So,
Yeah.
this is for kids to read, apparently.
Do you guys want to hear?
It's fucked.
You guys want to hear something? I know this is breaking but this is following the new tangent we've created of like weirdly inappropriate like dark material in like something that is not supposedly dark. Have you guys seen the movie The Kingsman, like the newest Kingsman movie?
No,
I haven't seen the newest one yet.
What is that? That's not for kids.
well, yeah, it's not for kids, but the post-credit scene. I was gonna retweet it on Twitter because it was actually the funniest thing I've ever seen in my whole life.
Don't spoil it.
Is it really a spoil? Like, this is just, I'm not gonna give any context for the story.
Your call. Go for it.
Okay, because I haven't watched the movie either. I don't know, but it ends and it's like obviously like the villain. It's like an event. It's literally like the Avengers, but it's like the villains. Like the villain is like, oh yes, I'm going to assemble a team of villains, and he's talking to Lenin because it takes place in history. I'm like, okay, he's talking to Lenin, and he's like, ah yes, we have the left wing covered, but now how about the right? And a man walks out. and he's like, this is our newest candidate. He will serve us well. And Lennon is like, and who might you be? And he looks, and it's like you can almost hear the fucking Avengers music playing, or like their version of it. And he's like, Hitler, Adolf Hitler.
Oh my god!
Oh no!
Hard cut to credits, and I gotta tell you, I laughed so. I'm so sweaty. I'm getting so sweaty right now thinking about it. I laughed so hard.
So weird.
My roommate laughed so hard. My other roommate, or my friend who used to be my roommate, who is doing master's degree in Cambridge right now, so he's in London. He sent a video and he was like crying, laughing, like he couldn't understand it.
It's like when Pikachu spoke.
Yeah,
It's just like it.
Just like it.
Just like it.
God, he's like,
The
Adolf.
video's still one of my favorites.
It's like so fucking funny.
You,
I was like, what?
What?
What on
Every
earth
time.
possessed you guys to do that? That has to be my god. So yeah.
Wow.
Just completely inappropriate for the kind of movie that it is. Like, my
this
god.
is such a weird callback. But Chad, do you remember the game Conduit on the Wii?
Yes, absolutely. You remember when
And
we wanted to write a show?
It was just a pretty stereotypical sci-fi shooter game that I believe I reviewed for Screw Attack back in the day. Just a Wii shooter game. It was fine, whatever. There was nothing really remarkable about it
Until the
up
end.
until the very end, when your character gets sucked through a portal, and the last scene in the whole game is you being rescued by like George Washington and Space Abraham Lincoln, and having you join
I
their
remember that.
Avengers.
Yeah.
What end game onto the sequel?
What proceeds to happen is then we went off on a tangent because we're just like, I can't believe this exists. And it was like, Ben, it was me and you, and I don't remember who else. But then we were just like, that's the most interesting thing about that game by far. I want the thing that would come after that. And then we were like, what if we wrote a series?
Not this one.
We're like, what if we wrote a series? I still remember the name of it. I don't know if I should say it. I was like, what if we wrote a series
never gonna do it.
about
Go
like
for it.
presidents in space? It was Spacemocracy.
Yeah, that's right.
And like I was like, I got into it. I was like, yes, and we can do this. And we had like all these like fun series. It was wild. I think we even
It's
pitched
our
it at one
idea.
point.
Don't copy it.
Yeah.
No
Copyright.
steals.
Because we were just
Oh my
like,
God.
this could go so much further. We had arcs. We had like, oh man, we talked about so much shit. We're so
It
off
was
the
really fun to
rails.
bring it. Yeah, we
I
do
love
need to
it.
get back to Knuckles versus Juggernaut. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious at this
yeah.
point that Knuckles wins, right? So he's got all that chaos power, the chaos magic. He's super strong. He could break a planet with his fist, whatever. So Juggernaut's basically
Break a planet
done,
with
right?
his fist.
Well-
Thor threw his hammer at Juggernaut, and it didn't even bounce off of him. Juggernaut's passive like aura of like he has a superpower that is it's kind of like considered his main superpower. It's like he just has a passive aura that like rejects things, like emits force that allows him to kind of continually push through things aside from his strength. And it didn't even it's not like it bounced off of his chest and like ding, 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 like that. No, it didn't even touch him. It didn't even get to him. It was rejected by just the passive force that he emits. And that hammer can be thrown across the fucking universe. That hammer can destroy the fucking universe. It can destroy these massive fucking systems that are as large as stars. I think it was like a gate. It was in the Walter Simonson Thor arc. I forget what it was. But yeah, like oh my god, crack a planet in half. My god, like Thor couldn't even damage him. And he beats Thor like all the fucking time.
So I'm getting,
sorry,
I'm getting
sorry.
a lot of.
Sorry, did I say break a planet? I meant to say what versus battles wiki has, which is his strength is immeasurable.
Ooh,
Immeasurable.
That's what they say.
and
No,
and
okay,
versus
okay.
battles
Well,
wiki
there it
says
is.
So go ahead
Immeasurable.
and say what you're going to say, Chad. I do have a more serious answer.
Okay, so like I'm hearing a ton about Juggernaut's durability, which is crazy higher than I thought it ever was. But what about his like offensive capabilities? What about his destruction?
as strong enough to fight Thor and the Hulk, like knock out Thor. Like the God Blast. Well, that's durability, I guess. But yeah, a similar level of strength to like Thor and the Hulk, who are both universe level or in excess of that.
Because he fought.
He can.
Was it Worldbreaker Hulk?
Yes, he fought Worldbreaker Hulk,
Okay.
and I believe he was actually weakened at that time. Like he's gone through phases where he's been weakened.
So a thing with both these characters, which is interesting, because they are technically powered by other things, the emeralds, even if it's within him or whatever, and the magic of Sidorak.
Yep, Sidorak.
Sidorak, cataracts. So their power levels do differ throughout their stories. For the most part, I believe Juggernaut is presented as a much weaker being than what we're presenting him as here. Able to fight Colossus, right, for the X-Men. In order to fight the X-Men, he's got to be brought down a peg.
Exactly.
So Sidorak is like giving him different levels of power depending on what he's doing. Same thing for Knuckles with his chaos energy. He's slowly building it up over time. So to specify Knuckles' level of power. So over the course of his life, as he was slowly building power, he got to a point where he was just glowing green. And that's when he could basically manifest whatever he wanted in reality. He could travel through time in an instant. He could take things apart, reset them in an instant. He could go back in time and erase Sidorak from existence, removing the magic resistance, for example. He could basically affect reality however he wanted. To the point where the guy who created Chaos Control, or developed it in the first place, big old fat mammoth man, Mammoth Mogul, he is obsessed with using chaos magic to basically make himself immortal and reshape the universe in whatever way he sees fit. So he developed a siphon that would steal Knuckles' chaos energy and give it to him. This is what ultimately killed Knuckles, that then led to the whole Jesus resurrection thing, blah, blah, blah. So he did steal all of Knuckles' energy. And the next time we see Mogul, he is an entity beyond time and space, an effective god, able to kill the gods of the Archie universe, the Ancient Walkers, and crush every single universe in existence. Ultimately defeated by... I'm going to shoot myself in the foot for this one as well, but I'm going to send you a new image, Brian. Hang on a second. I've shown this before, right?
Is it him holding the universe in his hand?
God. No.
Uh-oh.
No. It's
the Archie nipples. It's the Knuckles nipples thing.
It's Tails.
Oh.
He's defeated by Tails.
Yeah, Tails.
All the Tails.
It's lost. It's
Every
lost its
Tails.
luster. We've seen this before.
Somebody watching me not. So Tails is prophesied to be
No, thank you.
that an entity who is also equally powerful for some reason. It's never really explained why.
I like that he's absorbing the chaos power straight into his ass.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That's what he
I
does.
was born for this. Put it in me. I'm sorry. It's just...
Tails. So Tails takes that power. God, the story is so
Jesus
ridiculous.
Right.
Because they
Yeah.
effectively
Set me
wrote
up.
themselves into a corner where, like, they introduced this idea that Tails is going to save the universe, and they were like, well, we don't really want to tell this story anymore, so let's just end it real quick.
Yeah,
So Tails
I get that
absorbs
feel
all
every
of
once in a while.
Mogul's magic, chaos magic, sealing him within a Chaos Emerald, I guess, and then uses it to reshape all of reality, which includes every single universe and multiverse in the Archie universe. So, like, this whole thing, like, a lot of people bring up the, like, Archie rewriting reality with Mega Man or whatever as, like, his biggest feat. This has happened multiple times throughout the series. Knuckles actually does it in, I believe it's the crossover where they meet Spawn.
Oh my God. Every time we talk about Archie, I'm like, oh yeah, that crazy shit happened too.
That story is about why am I blanking on the comics that Spawn's from, that universe? Why am I blanking on that?
McFarlane.
McFarlane Savage Dragons from it. That
Image.
group of comics. Image comics.
There you go.
So
There you
that
go.
comic was about all of Image Comics and all of Archie Comics, including Archie and Sabrina the Teenage Witch and all of them, just being erased from reality. And Knuckles uses the Master Emerald in his own power to restore it all. So, yeah, it happens multiple times. And Knuckles is one of the people who's in canon restored the universe, or the multiverse rather. So his power goes beyond just punching things really hard or even just erasing reality. Like, he can do pretty much whatever he wants, including a go-to thing for people with his powers, just taking things apart or restructuring things.
But as we saw But as we saw, he's not going to be able to do that to Juggernaut. Juggernaut was able to resist being...
So here's something that I think could be... Knuckles was born with this power. He's always had this power. Juggernaut, or... What's his name? Marco something? Mark something?
Kane Marco.
Kane Marco was not born with this power. So Knuckles could just go back in time to before he gets the power. Snap him out of existence. The end. Dunzo. He wouldn't be able to snap. He's got those like big gloves.
No, I bet if he took his weird little meat flaps, he could make a popping sound off of that, right?
Together.
Yeah.
And then Sidorak would just kill him, right? Sidorak doesn't want to lose his avatar.
Be like Dolly
there's
Parton in her nails, man.
Yeah, or send the Juggernaut back in time as well. It's Juggernaut is...
Sorry.
Yeah,
go for it, Josh.
Was Juggernaut a part of House of M? Like, was he in that run? Was he affected by another reality bender?
He's not technically a mutant.
Oh, he's not.
He's not a mutant.
No, he's not a mutant. So
Okay.
I don't think he was.
Yeah.
There you go.
This episode is brought to you by The Batman, out only in theaters March 4th. Bruce Wayne has spent 2 years stalking the streets as the Batman, striking fear into the hearts of criminals, and it's led him deep into the shadows of Gotham City. With only a few trusted allies among the city's corrupt network of officials and high-profile figures, Batman has established himself as the sole embodiment of vengeance amongst his fellow citizens. When a killer targets Gotham's elite with a series of sadistic machinations, a trial of cryptic clues sends the world's greatest detective on an investigation into the underworld. As the evidence leads closer to home and the scale of the perpetrator's plans become clear, Batman must forge new relationships, unmask the culprit, and bring justice to the abuse of power and corruption that has long plagued Gotham City. See The Batman, starring Robert Pattinson and Zoe Kravitz. It's a must-see movie on the big screen. Get tickets to see The Batman only in theaters March 4th. Go to thebatman.com/tickets. Do it.
That was good. That would, if you would be like, oh yeah, he was, then there you go.
Well, answer, but no.
I mean, he would probably
Nice
be
try.
affected by the initial, like the actual House of M, not the No More Mutants, but the House of M.
Right.
itself.
Yeah, he'd be
Beginning.
House
affected
of
by like
Magnus.
the rest of the universe changing around him.
Even though
so,
he's
like,
immune to
prevent
magic?
that?
Yeah.
Good.
Well, it's
cut,
not. It's
good
not
call.
affecting him. It's not affecting him.
Oh, now
Like-
everyone
like
in the
just-
chat is saying time, huh? Sorry.
But it is affecting him. If he were completely resistant to magic, wouldn't he be one of the few people in the House of Magnus who does remember his past?
Well, I don't know if he doesn't or does remember his past or not. I'm just saying his resistance to magic wouldn't affect other people being affected by it. Like the rest of the universe could be affected.
Right.
Which is just common sense.
But now I'm curious if he showed up in House of M at all.
Yeah, I couldn't
Let's
think it. I
see.
couldn't think of him in it. but-
Good.
There are
'Cause I don't
multiple
remember
people have
that.
brought up now that like Juggernaut did get knocked down by Jubilee.
Yeah, Juggernaut's powers. Yeah, Juggernaut's powers. Not always at their best, right? I did have to say, like, his power varies depending on how much Sidorak has, and he's been depowered for long
Oh
stretches
my
of
gosh.
time in the comics. So,
Maester, you're gonna get in trouble. Stop spamming.
you can find a fucking ocean. You can find a fucking ocean of low showings for Juggernaut because they exist, because he's a character that needs to be brought low. He's like the Flash, right? You can find a billion examples of the Flash tripping on stupid shit. It's not we're taking Juggernaut at his best here, especially if we're going with Archie Knuckles.
I don't know. Being knocked down by
I don't know.
Jubilee.
I do know.
Knuckles has never been knocked down by Jubilee.
Yeah, I guess he hasn't. He's been beaten by Eggman.
Well,
Outsmarted by Dr. Eggman.
So just going to Juggernaut's wiki page and looking for the word magic. I found a line that says Beast was forced to use dark magic, sure, to send the Juggernaut to Siberia via a portal through hell. That's a sentence, but
Yeah, exactly.
there's a
They
lot to
couldn't
unpack
fucking
there.
kill him. They just had to send him somewhere else.
This is like
They
this
used
is the
magic
Darwin
to
thing.
do it.
Why?
They used
Send it
magic
through
to do
a
it.
portal.
Okay, but here's the thing: your body can be immune to being hit by magic, but if Beast opens up a magic portal under you and you fall through it, now you're like nothing hurt you. You're just now in another place,
Exactly.
right? And this is like the Darwin shit. Was it Hulk who like Darwin went up against? His only solution was to be on the other side of the planet from Hulk.
Oh, right. Was his powers like his powers adapt to anything?
Darwin's
right?
powers,
So
yeah, he can adapt to literally anything.
he just
He
teleported.
gets the solution to whatever person he's fighting, and he goes up. I think it was Hulk, and they're about to fight, and then suddenly Darwin's on the opposite
makes
side of the
sense.
earth, and they were
It
like,
makes
"What the
sense.
fuck was that?" And it's like the only way to counter his power was to not fight him in the first place.
What wasn't he like the first mutant killed in First Class too?
Oh,
like,
it's bullshit.
As the extra
Yes.
like
It is like legitimately probably the worst thing they did in those movies, like if from like a lore perspective.
And I like First Class, but that's really dumb.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've seen nothing to suggest that the Juggernaut would be affected. And
it does mention also
his
on the
backing
wiki
by
that,
Sidorak would be more
that
than enough to.
Mjolnir. So Mjolnir has the ability to absorb magic, right? Mjolnir was able to absorb and negate Kane's formerly impenetrable magic force field, so it can be removed. So Knuckles could remove his magic resistance with magic.
That's not his magic resistance. The force field is separate. The force field is just a force field that protects him. That adds another layer of defense. The force field is not his durability, and it's not the same as the aura that emits force.
So now
So
he's
you
just got like 15 different force fields going.
Fuck yeah!
15 different
Yeah,
layers
he's
of defense.
he's a little
Okay.
tanky boy. He's got so much. He's a big old boy.
All right. Well, I mean, he still can't time travel, so Knuckles has that in the bag.
Time, huh?
Here we go. They just
There we
calmed down
go.
in the chat. They just calmed down.
Yeah, I know. That's why I mentioned it.
We
Great.
should.
Hey.
We should.
Is that shirt still available for sale? If it is, store.roosterteeth.com. Go. You too can get your own Time Hunt shirt. It's Liam's greatest legacy. He's probably gonna put that shit on his tombstone.
I remember we were doing the Dio Alucard script read through. For a second, I was like, did I just did I just spoil an episode? Wait, that came out a couple months ago. We were doing the read through of the script, recording of the script, and Chad, you got to the Time Hunt line, and you were like, I don't get it. and Ben, you were like, you don't get it. And we got
I was
a nice
genuinely
little tangent
surprised.
explaining, because that was all we recorded it a long time before the episode. So that was before it totally caught on.
Yep.
Well, it caught on.
And then it was like, we're gonna make a t-shirt, and I was like, "What? Are we really gonna
Whoa.
do this?" All right.
I will say, just last point for Knuckles, because Renok in the chat mentioned this. Knuckles is typically portrayed as dumb as bricks, and would prefer to slug it out. Not really in Archie comics. In Archie comics, he sort of grew out of that, and became, especially when he was like trying to figure out how to move all of the echidnas over and whatnot. He became a lot more practiced with chaos energies and a lot smarter with how he handled it. To the point where a dark timeline has him stealing the souls of every life in the world, and turning them into robots that serve him. Because apparently you can do that with chaos magic. Sure.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So he's not just some dumb brute like he often is in the games and cartoons. But anyway,
This has been
I
very
think-
interesting.
yeah, this is a lot more interesting than I thought it was going to be, honestly. So I'm very curious to see how you guys are feeling about it.
I think it
But
makes
first,
sense.
Let's go ahead and start the vote. But first, we are going to get some answers from you guys. I believe we should have some answers from Twitter. Is that correct? So we can go ahead and bring up one of those and see what we've got.
All right, from Fantastic Alum. Knuckles has way better speed and maneuverability, being able to keep up with Sonic. Plus, with the feats he's accomplished, I think he'd be able to break Juggernaut's armor, and he has Hyper Knuckles, which boosts his power and makes him invincible. Knuckles is not one to chuckle at.
Oh my god, I didn't even talk about Hyper Knuckles. So Hyper Knuckles and Super Sonic
Too late.
have well, he brought it up. So have completely negated Eraser, being erased from reality multiple times. So long as they are in that form, they are legitimately indestructible.
But
Anyway, we can
that
bring it
form
to this.
doesn't last forever, and
That's true. It
Juggernaut
doesn't last
stamina
forever.
does.
It does last much longer than it does in the games, though, at least an hour.
It does. It does.
All right, next one from Twitter is from Austin Garfield. Knuckles dies. We should just end it on that. Juggernaut has stalemated World War Hulk. A regular Hulk could destroy an entire universe and match Thor, whose hammer could cross the universe in 1 minute. Also, Juggernaut's regeneration is something Knuckles likely counter. Should have been Hermione.
Well, haven't we done that though? Haven't we done Knuckles versus Hermione? Or not Knuckles
must
versus
have.
Hermione?
If we did it, I
There's an
tuned it
idea.
out. We might have done it once. I think we did.
I think yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be a
Maybe
fun
not
episode.
on this variant of the
I mean, fun in the
Either
sense
way.
that it would be a joke because there's absolutely no way that.
or Hermione.
Just-
Okay. So, but before we get to the vote, I got one last thing. And do you have any one last thing you want to say for Juggernaut, Liam?
I mean, are you setting up because you have something that
No,
you
he
want to
already
say?
did. He
I
just stuck
already
in the
did. So I'm
hybrid.
just giving you an
okay,
option.
cool,
Fairness.
cool,
You
cool.
have to do it.
Juggernaut had sex with She-Hulk.
And survived.
And in one of the that arc, that comic arc is famous
Oh
for
my God.
just horrible
It
character assassination
survived.
across the board. But yeah, that's ding. Red, just one more reason.
Hey, you know what? The only thing I can tease is there. It's not going to spoil anything, but we do have a matchup coming in the next season. No, shouldn't have used that word. Where we did have to calculate a sexual feat. So there's that.
Are you
That's
talking about the
right.
one we did a while ago with Broly Hulk?
Nope.
No.
So we had to calculate that one too.
Liam knows what I'm talking about.
I do not.
Oh.
It's the
Yeah.
really, really bad one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that really bad one.
Moving on.
Wonderful.
Moving on. Moving
Excited
on.
to see that.
Moving on. You really shouldn't be. All right. Everybody get your votes in the poll. Let's go ahead and bring up the Twitter poll to get our first vote in.
Chad, I regret not being in that recording session.
Oh yeah, it was. That was the thing. Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
I'm actually surprised. I thought.
Yeah.
I guess a lot of people don't know the insanity of Archie Knuckles.
Well, I think the poll might have not made it clear whether or not we were doing Archer game Knuckles. But either way, Knuckles has essentially 39% to Juggernaut 51% vote. So Juggernaut gets one vote.
61%.
We still got three more.
61%. Let's not undersell his victory here. I know it doesn't
Is that not what I
matter.
said?
You said 51.
Oh, my bad. 61%. Sure. All right, Chad.
Yeah.
Who
this
are
is
you
your
voting for?
This is your last chance. #1 if you're on mobile. #2. Sorry, for Knuckles and #2 for Juggernaut because Brian's getting the poll here in a second.
Mhm.
This is one of the most torn I've ever been. I'm going to be real. I don't know. I like Knuckles is multiversal power, but I think there's so much more to explore in Juggernaut, and the fact that the stuff that he's tanked and that he's been down to just a skeleton with a helmet, and then just as I'm pure hate and hate keeps me going is just crazy. I'm gonna say Juggernaut on this one because I feel like there's more there.
Guys, Idris Elba is going to be so disappointed with you.
I know. He'll never be on.
I'll tell you what.
I think I
Have him
Idris
tweet
Elba
at me and I'll
also
change
played
my verdict. How about that?
Have him invite me to a candlelit dinner.
Yeah.
And I will admit Knuckles
All
wins.
right, we got two for Juggernaut. Josh,
Yeah.
what are you voting
yeah.
for?
Okay. I'm pretty torn as well. This is a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. But at the end of this cast, I feel silly. I mean, just personally, it feels silly to not go with the chaos. I'm going to go Knuckles.
Okay, you didn't have to throw me under the bus. I'm sorry. He was on my side at the beginning, right? He's like, oh, this was also really good. But after I actually listened, you'd be stupid to not do this. Sorry, wait, what? See how it is, Josh.
Luis did a similar thing to me the other week or a couple weeks ago. It was
this
truly
makes-
heartbreaking.
I think this makes complete sense, Josh.
Thank you.
I think everything you said makes
Chad, I'm with you,
100%
buddy.
perfect sense.
Chad.
All right, we've got 2 votes for Juggernaut, 1 for Knuckles. This could be a tie, but it's up to you guys in the chat. The poll just ended. Let's go ahead and see who's gonna win this community death battle, Knuckles or the Juggernaut.
Or it's a tie.
Bitch. Whoa! It is very close. 53% to 47%. Juggernaut just takes it.
Wow.
Wow. Wow.
We
Interesting.
need to do this one. We need to do
Yeah.
this one.
This is
Yeah.
way more. This is way closer than I thought it was going to be. And also, it's an Archie Sonic character loses, according to this, which is like
we never
unheard
thought
of.
we'd see the day.
I
That's
mean, we
never
have
happened
seen it
before.
technically, but it's something that I think most people wouldn't expect to happen when you throw an Archie character into a death battle type of thing. It's automatically like reacted to with, oh well, they're gonna win. They're so overpowered. Archie Sonic's so broken. So
They are. It's true.
That's super, and it's true, yeah, for the most part. But apparently, Juggernaut, according to you guys, according to this episode of Death Cast, at least, is the more broken. But if we actually do this as a death battle, it might have a different result. We don't know.
Who knows?
We'll obviously
Not
be
Liam.
looking into a lot more.
Because
Field Doc has been modding for us. Because personally, I think Buff Tails wins. I prefer that as Butt Tails, which also buff flies. Yeah.
Yeah, Buff Tails, I mean, I don't even think Juggernaut would know what to do. Like, he would just see it and be like, okay, I give up. Like, what even happens in this
You
case?
do see that thing coming at you, and you're just like, no, I'm good. Oh,
All right. Thank you all so much for joining us for another whatever this show is. Like, honestly.
A fun
Oh, we
debate
didn't
for
even
your
get to talk
entertainment.
about Liam the Hedgehog. We did.
We don't need
we
to.
played the
Nope.
game
Nope.
where
Oh,
you
look
type
at
in
that.
your
We're out
name
of
and then
time.
the Hedgehog.
Look at
And
that.
I-
We are out of time. It's
Sundown.
time
I
to
know
go
mine
check
already.
out.
Mine's great. Mine's great.
Time to go check out the Squad Team Force live stream. All right. Hey, guys. Be kind to others. Be kind to
Not the
yourself.
one I
Be
created,
awesome.
just the one that says my name. I need to
Just
make that very
Liam,
clear.
I'm talking.
All right.
We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Goodbye.